That's one. That's two. Welcome back to Indian Trace. I'm going to have to make this 2 videos because I see the quantity. But both of these, this one, pile that is, and this pile, now this is the shocker, comes out of one display bin. At least the way I keep my artifacts, they come out of one display section. That's it. Now they are probably not in excess of 2 inches, between 1 and 2 inches. But these points here that you're going to see, and I'm going to try to do 2 videos for this purpose. If I haven't seen them for 5 to 6 months, possibly a year, haven't really looked at them, then certainly you're not going to remember a whole lot about them at all. That's just the way it rolls when time moves forward. You got to have a lot of patience when you collect artifacts. Strategic patience, which is something that our president has said lately when he was meeting over in Japan. Strategic patience, and it's so important. Some of the things he's been doing with that. Make sure you avail yourself. And before I get rolling on these, I don't know which side I'll go to first. Probably this side, because this point right here is a new find. Many of them are not. The ones that are backing them up, I know, like that point right there is about 4 years old and 4,000 years old. Again, welcome back to Indian Trace. I'm going to do 2 videos, and the reason is because this, I'm not getting a focus. All right, there we go. Because this quality that we're seeing in these 2 piles is, for me, my top quality, my favorite sort of size of points that I like, and just my top quality and styles that have just touched my heart. Some of them aren't perfect. They got a little nick out of them here and there, but they're as perfect as I find here. And you'll see a good selection of the materials. Lots of rhyolites. And in these 2 piles, there's no quartz. I keep no quartz in this one display bin. So let's roll on this. It'll be fun. You're going to see some artifacts that just completely shock you. They shock me. I haven't seen them in some of these. I haven't got to the bottom of the bin in a year or more. Just put them in there and move forward. You know how it is. But I do know that watching, and as we lay these out, as I said, this is one of the newest. And we're just going to set them up here. I do watch a lot of other people finding. I mean, I'm shocked at the points that Treasure Hunter for Life has found. I'm shocked at the point that Ditchwalker finds. I'm shocked at so many people's finds. You know, and I'm envious of them. But I have to sometimes just go back in time to look at some of these points and share them a little bit. This is a point that I found at Mecca, because it helps me with my thankfulness and helps me keep perspective, just to give you a good look at what you find out in North Carolina, central North Carolina. Just waiting on rain. I went out today, but not a whole lot to be found, just not a whole lot of rain yet. And I'm just going to do a pile. I remember Brooksy, Jonesy, made a pile or a bowl of points, and he was just pulling them out and checking them out and looking at them. Here's a great point from the bear too. And we'll just take a look at them, show them a little bit. I have no earthly idea how long something like this would take. I know there's probably about 40 points in these 2 bins that are just, every single one is just, to me, great. Love them all. I'm not going to go in any particular order. This is another one from Mecca. Look at the materials on this. Just some great stuff. Just to give a good show. I wish, you could have, and it just wouldn't work with multiplied groups of public. Look at this long one that was found at the garden last year when the garden was discovered. To do a hands-on display, if you will. Great point. That's probably the longest one in this, but it was just similar in size, so that works. Out of rhyolite. Wouldn't work, to have public come in and be able to just put the pile out there and say, hey, check them out. But you can do it with your friends. This is a great point right here from the Cove. Found that right in the footprint. Stepped right on it. One of the planters, one of the gatherers. So most of the time the planters and the gatherers here are doing harvest. They're not real interested in these rocks. I don't think they are. It's been proven. Look at this piece here. Found next to it in the rise. Marl Mountain. And I'm just going to take a couple seconds off each just so you get a perspective of what I've been trying to communicate about the abundance of a region and the abundance of years. If you know points and you really study in terms of age on points, you'll see there's a spectrum. Probably really pressing down the Archaic period and the Woodland period pretty strong. Some great stuff. So let me try to keep this stuff moving forward. This is a great point just found just last year. So this is a newer point that I found at the garden as well. And it's interesting, and I'll show you something. This point here in rhyolite. Now remember, these points are just points that particularly touched my interest. Just for size and craftsmanship. Was found at the same place that this long spike was found. Here's a point. Found at Hidden Hill. Now these that are my favorites, I know exactly where I found them. I can remember the exact circumstance. I could bring you to the exact spot. That's just the way it is. I don't know. My brain just works that way. Who knows? Maybe one of you guys, your brain works that way as well. Catching glimpses of these, maybe if you really particularly like one, you'll pause it and be able to take a look at it. Just as you might in a museum. Again, my thanks to those guys out there that go to the museum and film it. I know that Rox Crusoe has done it. I know that Brooksy has done it. And I did mention Jonesy. And my God, I know he's hurting. He would never say so in his health. And so I know that prayers work. I don't know what God has planned for the rest of his life. But I know that he's important. I know that a lot of people out there like him. Look at that relief on the back of that one, will you? Right there. Found at Mecca. A lot of them found at Mecca. I'm setting them up right here just so you get a good look at them. These points just getting laid out here. Just craziness. And it was worth it just to take a little bit of time in the natural light to show some of these points. Crazy. And as I can show you, these points are, I guess in some fashion, definitely not the same type of material in flint that is found in some places, but they're absolutely great artifacts. Point right here found at Notchville. Just a great group so far. My focus. And what else to share? I have an incredible opportunity every time I post a video like this to share some links to help people understand what's going on in the political realm. And it's so important to our freedom. If you love collecting artifacts or just having peace for your family, that was found at Notchville. Security for your family. That I think that you might be surprised if you never paid too much attention to politics, how much it matters, how much it can infringe upon what you want to do. It's a great little point. So that's why I do the links. You don't have to agree with anything, that's for sure. But if there's something that you consider, that's a great thing. Here's a great point that I found at the same place I went today, the easement. Just fantastic opportunities. Everyone to remember the different men, maybe women, not sure how that fits together sociologically, that made these points. I do believe in terms of tasks and task-oriented life that the North American Indians lived, that there were certain criteria, there's certain tasks that were definitely designated to men as opposed to women, and to women as opposed to men. I do know that that's true. But I am often reminded, look at this piece, that if we think we know anything as we should take pause and take caution, because we don't know anything as we should. So much about the North American Indians, especially these Indians, the Stone Age North American Indians, is a mystery. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't try to, dogmatically hold to any opinion particularly. But I do know that there's so much diversity. Look at this piece here. Hidden Hill. It's so funny. A lot of you might not have heard the story. There's a little fella all the way across the country in California that loves Indian Trace. He loves the channel. That's a great thing. But the rocks that he has, and I sent him a bunch of rocks too, as opposed to the rocks that he might have already. California, it's hard going when it comes to collecting, I think, sometimes. Look at these 2 points. But he likes to lay his rocks out and talk about them and arrange them. I think anybody who has artifacts likes to do that. And so I think it's funny because he does that, and he has a game. Look at this piece. Interesting piece from the Hawk that he calls Indian Trace. His game, he lays them out and he says, let's play Indian Trace. And he lays them out and he talks about them. And, that's the way to go. Because most of all, I think I'm trying to stir up appreciation. Look at this group. I can't even get it all on there. That's why I said I have to do 2 videos. This is crazy. Unbelievably beautiful. Great opportunity. And I have these right here. I mean, look at this piece right here. I'm going by size. This was found almost 4 years ago at the Archaic. Just incredible workmanship on that rhyolite. I think I'll sail by a lot of G10s in this video. Whew. My goodness. When I look at them in perspective, and I've been to quite many, and now I'm blown away recently. I will put this in, and I divert. And look at that piece. Riverdale. I've been to many museums that are awesome, and the museums that were recently posted by Brooksy. Just incredible artifacts in there. Whew. Look at these pieces to finish it up. I'm not even getting this thing done. Look at that piece. But, I always like to say, it's a good opportunity to do a literal museum tour and give people an opportunity who don't get the opportunity that often just to see into our collections or to see what we have sitting around, what we have that we've collected and that we esteem. That's a great point right there. Found it far and away. That site right here is not open very often. It's a real privilege to see that. And then another point here found at Back Pass. Had to break it off of Mecca. I mean, the place just got keep putting out points that were just incredible. So there we go. Just some favorites. A good opportunity to do it. You just don't ever know when they'll keep coming in, or I'll have a blockbuster week or what have you, so I never get the opportunity. I just put them in there and move forward. Just to put some favorites up there and show them. And I know there are some out there that appreciate it, so I don't mind making the effort for that. Even if it takes a little bit more time. To me, it's worth it. I ain't gonna sit around and read some magazine or the newspaper at lunch. Nope. So that's a good look at it. Now that is a different story. Part 2, really. Crazy. This, see what I'm talking about? Holy cow. And all in all, can only hope that you'll find out there. From Indian Trace to all of you, be well.